Hello lovelies and welcome to today's video. I'm going to be talking about the 3 movies I've watched so far in the first quarter of the year. So that is of course January, February and March. So the first 2 are from the 28 Days Later franchise, and of course I'm starting off in January with 28 Days Later itself, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. This was released in 2002 and it is following the events 28 days after the outbreak of a deadly virus in London, which infects everyone and turns them into brain-dead killers. Basically zombies. The survivors try to cope with their losses and find sanctuary. This was my first time ever watching this movie and I really enjoyed it. It was so good. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did, if at all really, but I liked these fast sprinting type of zombies and I enjoyed the connection that grew between our 2 mainish characters, Jim and Selena. Selena was so badass but cold and brutal, so I appreciated seeing her character develop by letting people in as the movie went on and kind of showing that vulnerable side to her. The music feels so classic. I realise I'm very familiar with it. I've just never sat down until then to watch the movie where the music was from, right? So very eerie and chilling and just perfectly captures the tone of this movie overall. I personally love the way it was filmed. I think it was on a phone. Don't hold me to it. I think it was filmed on a phone. And it gave this grainy kind of indie quality to it that just worked for this type of movie brilliantly. Like you were almost there with the characters, which is terrifying when you consider what kind of movie it is. I know it wasn't a follow me camera, but I think it being filmed in such an intimate way just added to that connection. So shortly after that, I ended up watching 28 Weeks Later, and sadly I gave this one a 2 stars. It was a much more disappointing follow-up to its predecessor. It felt, this sounds really bad, but like too American and militant in its execution, far too action-packed and not enough character-driven aspect for me. There were too many characters and not enough that actually made me care. I couldn't really find or pinpoint one that I was connected enough to really feel like they could carry the plot for me, you know? I think this may just be a franchise where I leave the rest alone and just enjoy it for the first movie that exists, if you know what I mean. And lastly, I watched Moana 2, which I can't believe was released in 2024. I thought it was this year, but yeah, it was released last year, which I don't know. Everything is just coming out too quickly for me. This follows Moana journey into the far seas of Oceania after receiving an unexpected call from her wayfinding ancestors. I felt so spirited after seeing this movie. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely beautiful sequel, but how on earth did the first movie come out in 2016? I was dumbfounded when I realised how much time had passed between the first and the second film. It feels like yesterday that Moana first graced our screens. Like I was going to cry from pure joy when I was watching this movie, and it sounds so stupid, like written down and saying it here to you guys, but the feeling is just straight up magic. Honestly, genuinely straight up magic. I adored the plot, the relationship with Moana and her little sister, her crew, the water and culture. It's just so vivid and tangible and beautiful. I would have loved to see more scenes with her parents in Moana, but I feel like this was all about drifting away from home to reconnect with it all, as well as finding yourself and taking care of yourself as well. It was beautiful with fantastic musical pieces and brilliant design, of course. After watching it, see a lot of discourse and lower reviews than I was expecting about how you could tell that it was supposed to be a TV show, and I was like, what? I didn't know it was supposed to be a TV show. So I'm guessing people like really salty about that. It fell through. I still don't actually know what happened, to be quite honest. I haven't really looked into it, but you know, going into it without knowing that prior, and even if I did, I think I'd probably feel the same. I thought it was beautifully done, and I would still recommend it. Anyway, that is it for today's video. Those are the 3 movies that I've recently watched. Let me know if you have watched any of those. And if you think the 28 Weeks Later franchise gets better later on, I think I am pretty done with it. Like, I am happy just to have watched those 2. But yeah, I'd still be keen to know if you guys find the other movies, and is there a TV show as well? I'm not too sure. Worth watching, maybe. Potentially I might give it a go at a later stage, but definitely not at the moment. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I shall catch you in another video soon. Bye.